Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just bring you some documentation to prove that they knew about coronavirus, COVID-19, 11 months before it was made public in America, before we, the American people, or the government supposedly had known about it. Right here on these two pieces, as you see, it says Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or the CARES Act, okay? Right here, it says sponsor, Rep. Courtney Joe, DCT2, introduced 1/24/2019. Committees, House, Ways and Means. Latest action was modified 3/27/2020. Okay? Became public law. But I want you to see that it was introduced 1/24/2019. Okay? Now let's jump over here because it says Public Law number 116-136, 3/27/20. But mind you, this is 2019 to 2020. This is Coronavirus Aid Relief, okay? An Economic Security Act or the CARES Act. This bill responds to the COVID-19 coronavirus disease 2019 outbreak and its impacts on the economy, public health, state and local governments, individuals, and businesses. Division A, keeping workers paid and employed, healthcare systems enhancements, and economic stabilization. Well, if they didn't know nothing about this, and China didn't have the first outbreak until the end of 2019, which was November and December, how is it that they put this bill into place, introduced in January of 2019? Unless they knew that there was going to be a coronavirus pandemic, because they obviously, in the bill, it says COVID-19. So, and it was actually public law on 3/27/20. So, it was proposed and introduced January 24th, 2019. But let's just kick this off. Every one of them, California County, vows to forcibly quarantine people, separating families over COVID-19. What? What? Okay, listen, World Health Organization said it best that they were going to, the best way would be to go house to house, door to door, and take people out of their homes that they think are infected or test positive and separate them from their families, right? And that was months ago. This was on May 9th. This was just yesterday that this came out, okay? May 9th. Now, I'm going to show you something, because seeing as how they knew about this ahead of time, that should tell you something, that they had a plan in place. And this person, this researcher on verge of making very significant coronavirus findings, shot to death. This is an ABC News outlet. Do you think that he was going to expose some documentations? This is the researcher that was killed. Okay? Richie from Boston and Dr. Andrew Kaufman were actually talking about this on yesterday's episode. And I advise you go over there and you just watch the video. They pieced it together really well. Everybody that tries to speak out, you know, when people think about getting this out to people, well, the problem persists where you got assholes like this cop in the background. I'll play it.
Oh, they got to see it.
That's what I thought it was.
Okay. Well, then don't think. That's when people get into trouble, when they start thinking.
Uh-huh. That's a cop saying don't think. That's when people get in trouble, when they start thinking. So you're not allowed to think, is what a cop says to someone he pulled over. Well, the police have a mentality right now of you're not allowed any rights. And you're not even allowed to think. I would really process this information that us truthers are really trying to push out there for everybody. Because this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said in my last video, they're really pushing a lot of things out there. They're really trying to get people riled up right now with protests. They really need a reason to implement their martial law, their version of it. They need people to riot with protests so they can say, hey, listen, we need to do crowd control. We need martial law because the people are getting out of hand. They're looking for a reason to do it. And nobody's really giving them a reason to do it. But real quick, like 5G will be used for crowd disbursements. It will be used to keep people in check. Cops already have protective gear, so it won't affect them when they're out in the streets. The military has protective gear, so it won't affect them when they're out in the streets. Why do you think a lot of these birds and animals have been dropping dead everywhere, all over the United States, all over the world? Because the 5G, they're testing it out on the animals. They want to see how well it works. They want to see if they can bring it to the point of killing. And they can. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke. I mean, this is reality. We're dealing with unseen forces that are controlling the rest of the world. The 1% of the elites are controlling the rest of the world. And how we are allowing them to get away with that is because we've been sleeping for far too long. And the people are waking up now in rapid amounts of numbers, mass numbers. People are waking up. And that's because the energy level is affecting us and it's waking us up. All right, we're seeing through the bullshit. But my fear is that it may be too late. Because they're implementing all this tracking, this digital ID, the currency. I mean, you won't buy, trade, or sell unless you have the digital ID, which is going to be in your hand or on your face. And well, the part about on your face, on your forehead, like the Bible says, that's the little box of the tracking for facial recognition. All right. Now, in my last video I just posted before this, I brought up the topic of China building a prison in space. It was announced in 2013, and they said that it would be operational in 2018. Well, they did that behind the curtains. When nobody was paying attention, they pushed out the news article on the internet. Nobody was looking at it. It wasn't showing up in anybody's search results. It wasn't showing up at all for anybody, unless people knew exactly what to look for. But because people were being diverted with all the stuff that was in the news, it's like a soap opera. They always take your brain somewhere else. Sleight of hand. They bring you over here while something's going on over there, and you're not paying attention. So by the time you realize what's going on over there, it's already too late. So it's no different than a basketball game, ladies and gentlemen. They're passing the ball, pass the ball until somebody's open to shoot that ball. Once they make the basket, it's too late. Can't take that point away. They did it fair and square. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. God bless you all.